Okay, so welcome everyone to the Downtown Brantford Business Improvement Area Board of Management meeting for September 8th, 2021. Annette, can you do the roll call, please?
Barbara Sutherland,
Present.
Dwight Rose,
Present.
Karen Towler,
Present.
Anne Marie Boak,
Present.
Councillor Wall.
Present.
That's all the board members.
Okay, thank you. Move on to the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? Dwight, thank you. Second. Anne Marie, thank you so much. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Declarations of conflict of interest. I have a conflict for 6.4 because it mentions What the Fest, and Jamie, my son-in-law, is involved in What the Fest. In which case, Joshua, would you mind taking over chair at that point?
I have to declare the same conflict. I am.
Oh,
We
okay.
are associated with that event through my business.
Okay. So Dwight, will you take over chair at that point?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
I have a conflict with that as well.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what do we do? Annette, where does this stand if 3 of us have conflict out of 5?
I don't know. This has never happened. I don't think it would affect quorum because you're all still here.
Yeah, it doesn't. Conflicts don't affect quorum.
Right. So who's here? I guess it would just be Dwight. That
And
would,
Karen,
and Karen, and hopefully Carrie and Kathy come in at some point. Maybe we'll just have to see once we get to that.
Okay,
Or
all
Dwight can decide, and Karen.
okay.
Weird.
All right, so we have 3 conflicts of interest, all right. 4, we don't have delegations, 5 consent items. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 11th, 2021? Dwight, thank you. Seconded by Anne Marie, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. And 5.2, the reports be received, and that's Annette's report. If I could have a motion to receive. Dwight,
Beg your pardon?
a motion to receive Annette's report,
I'll make that motion.
and seconded by Anne Marie. Can I ask a question? I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna ask a question about your report, Annette, if I may, because you talked about the additional cannabis stores. I think there are 3 more that have licenses pending. How many does that bring us in the downtown core if we have 3 more coming into the ones that we are already existing?
If all of these are approved, there will be 5, but there is 1, like 2 buildings out of the BIA area, which will mean there will be 3 in a 2-block radius. So I would say 6. I want to include the one that's just on the outskirts, so that will make it 6.
Total 6, okay. All right. Thank you. All right, so that, any other discussion on that? Any questions of Annette? All right, could I have them all in favor? Thank you, carried. All right, we'll move on to 6.1, which is our budget. Dwight, do you want to carry that forward?
Yes, I want to make a motion to approve a draft budget for 2022, which has been presented, which would, we're going to put a 2% increase in on the levy, and so we can move forward with everything. We also budgeted $10,000 to cover any.
Excuse me, Dwight, do you have a seconder for the motion? And then we can discuss it. So you're the motion. May I have a seconder for the motion? Is that you, Anne Marie? Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead, Dwight. Sorry.
So do I have a seconder?
Yeah, it was Anne Marie.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay,
We have a proposed budget put in place here to present to the city. It is going to involve a 2% increase in our levy. We've also budgeted $10,000 to cover any more tax appeals that have come forward and restricted some of our plans. This would presented there, so I'm looking for approval of that and to move forward. We'll have a little bit of extra funds with this 2%. We'll put it into marketing for the time being, and that'll work out well for us.
okay, is there any discussion on the budget? Seeing none. Anne Marie, did you have a question? No. All right, so if there's no discussion, no further questions, may I have a vote on the motion to receive or to approve? Dwight, and seconded by Karen? Yeah, all in favor? Approved. Thank you. That was easy. All right.
Barb?
Yes.
I might add to this, we really reviewed this and for the membership, but we're losing business and commercial assessment all the time because of properties. Like last year, there was an increase. You don't see it until your final bill with the actual BIA levy on the taxes, and it's a percentage of things. So I was actually a 10 to 12% increase, but with properties like Harold and Getz going down, all the commercial properties out of the mall, losing that assessment, losing 234 Colburn Street and some others. We're really constraining ourselves with the remaining membership and businesses. Now, there is a lot of development out there. It is being slowed up. That's not being developed. There's mega projects on Market Street there that could add to our resources and membership. The condo is just about finished. It'll have some commercial space there too, but we really need to try to push forward with more business and commercial assessment so we can properly promote our businesses.
Okay, thank you, Dwight. All right, we'll move on to 6.2, which is the downtown cleanup. Annette, would you like to speak to this really quickly? Thank you.
Right. So Councillor Utley had mentioned that the Rotary Club is looking at doing a litter cleanup in the downtown. They're also speaking to Laurier and Conestoga students and any BIA members who want to volunteer. And what he's asked us for specifically is to help identify hotspots where litter is an ongoing problem. So I think we could all do that. We know where those hotspots are, and maybe we can help them out that way.
Okay, excuse me. So do we need a motion on this?
Just to accept the executive's motion that we support. We support the event and that will help identify the hotspots.
Okay, so may I have a motion to, okay, Anne Marie, thank you, and seconded by Dwight. Any conversation? I think Beth, did you have a comment?
And I don't know if I'm allowed to speak, and I don't think it impacts the motion. It's just a suggestion that in addition to, and Sergeant Grantham may appreciate this approach, in addition to the cleanup, also the sort of education and appreciation for people who do it right. So if the BIA has existing, coupons or anything you could hand out, if you could equip those volunteers with that, and if they see someone using the litter bin properly, say, hey, thanks from downtown Brantford, here's 10% off wherever or something. Just a suggestion, but I don't think it impacts the motion in any way.
Thank you. That's a great suggestion. Thank you. Anything we can do to encourage cleaning up, that's good. That's good. All right. All right. So I'm sorry, I got lost. All in favor? Thank you, carried. All right. 6.3, Scare in the Square. May I have a motion to bring this to the table? Anne Marie, thank you. May I have a seconder? Dwight, thank you. All right. Annette, do you want to speak to this? Or should I ask Jennifer? I'm going to ask Jennifer to speak to this perhaps.
I would ask Jennifer just to give everybody an update on what the event's going to entail, and I guess you can make your decision from there whether you're going to support it or not.
Mhm. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So we are so excited that Scare in the Square has been approved for this year. It's not going to be the same as it has been in the past, but we're able to at least bring people into the downtown again. One thing that's going to be new this year that's not in the downtown, but will attract people is going to be a scary movie at Mohawk Park. So it'll be a drive-in movie on the Friday evening. And then we'll have, instead of doing a haunted house, we'll have characters of some sort. We're undecided at this time. We'll be scaring people while they're in their cars. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then also on Friday night, we're going to do an 80s themed roller skating in Harmony Square. There'll be a dog parade. There'll be prizes for the dog parade. Then Saturday will be trick-or-treating again as usual. It will be just a little bit different this year. We're not going to have the kids go into the businesses as we've done in the past. We're going to invite the businesses to come into Harmony Square. And depending on how many businesses we get, we might shut down the road for that time frame just to accommodate the amount of people that we're anticipating, because that's always a hit, trick-or-treating. Then on Saturday night, we're going to do zombie roller skating, and there'll be some other activities happening as well. There'll be virtual ghost tours and prizes for the kids and crafts and character meet and greets. And so it's still going to be a jam-packed weekend, and we'll bring a lot of people into the downtown.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. All right. Any questions of Jennifer? Did I see? I'm sorry. No. Okay. So if we want to move forward with the vote on this motion, all in favor of the $1,500? And that's carried. Thank you very much. All right. So 6.4, 3 of us have declared a conflict of interest. Dwight, would you take the chair for this one, please?
My audio is not that clear here, so and I don't have the agenda here. What is the topic or motion?
Oh, okay, it's the Brantford Live request for $1,000. Maybe, Annette, can you field this one for us between myself and Dwight?
Yes, I would actually turn this one over to Jennifer as well. This is a new event that they're requesting sponsorship for. So I would turn it over to Jennifer to talk about.
Okay, but we need a motion on the floor first.
Oh, okay. Is there a mover to put this on the floor?
Move it.
Karen Towler and Carrie Korfman.
Yeah,
No.
Carrie, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be participating.
Jennifer, explain this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a new event. We applied for a grant back in April with the hopes of getting through COVID. And so what this is, it's just a one-time event. It's consisting of 3 concert evenings, one in partnership with Brantford International Jazz Festival, one in partnership with What the Fest, and one in partnership with Six Nations. They're going to happen on the 18th, the 24th, and the 30th of September. We just found out we got this grant a couple weeks ago, so I'm scrambling to plan everything. I've got about 80% planned at this point. So everything's looking quite well, but we're really excited for these partnerships, as are our partners who haven't been able to really do much during the past year and a half. So it's really nice to engage our community get some local bands that have also been feeling the effects of COVID. So when we ask people to participate, it's yes, absolutely, we'll be there because everybody's looking for that thing to do. So we're anticipating some high attendance for all 3 events.
Dwight, you're the chair.
Jennifer, what are the dates of the
September 18th, which is a Saturday, Friday, September 24th, and Thursday, September 30th.
and they're all, is that Saturdays?
One's a Saturday, one's a Friday, one's a Thursday.
And you're looking for a partnership amount of $1,000. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, and you would be presenting sponsor. So much like Scare in the Square.
Jennifer, where are they all taking place in Harmony Square?
All of them are in Harmony Square.
All right, thank you.
And who are the other participants sponsoring this?
Right now, I have Lozani Homes and Boyle Plumbing and Heating. But I also have about 7 other asks out there.
And how would VIA be recognized? Just the fact that the event's down here?
Yeah, we would do our typical social media releases. We're going to do a billboard, boards on site. You can be there and have a MC representing the BIA. We can do a partnership with businesses. If businesses want to hand out coupons and get people into their businesses for dinner, we can definitely work on something like that as well. I think for the What the Fest partnership, he's going to partner with Hudson's Public and do a giveaway. So we could do something like that and partner with a business and do giveaways during the evenings.
Well, it makes
Okay,
both.
Dwight, you need to call the vote.
Well, call a vote. I support this project. So I'm looking. Is there a motion on the floor?
Yes, there's a motion on the floor. It's been moved and seconded. The only people voting on this would be Karen, Carrie, and yourself. Everybody else is declared conflict.
And my vote. I'll call for the vote. I'm in favor. All those in favor?
Okay, we're good to go. We got the motion passed.
Okay, thank you, Dwight.
You're quite well.
All right, so 6.5 development updates. Anything remarkable there, Annette, or are we still waiting on all these developments?
We're still waiting on all of them. Some of them are progressing. There is one new one to add to the list, and that's the former TH&B Railway, 60 Market Street South. They're starting with an 8-story condos with 118 residential units, ground floor commercial, surface, and above ground parking.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll move ahead with our updates. Is Chief Davis joining us, Sergeant Grantham? Do you know?
I thought that he was. He may have been pulled away.
Okay,
So
all right.
I saw him this morning on parade, but I haven't seen him since.
Okay, all right. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, I don't have a lot with updates for you guys. Obviously, the beat unit is still sitting at 1 member, which is not ideal. We do have Blake Volke is supposed to be coming back this month, which is going to be great. I can't wait to at least have 2 members. it adds a lot to what they can do when they're paired up. Obviously, there's some officer safety concerns if you're wading into a large group of people that have possibly weapons or needles or whatever, and you're there alone. You can't watch your own back while you're doing an arrest and things like that. So it is going to help a lot more with his ability to keep doing what he's doing. And even though he is solo, I've been out with him a couple of times this past month, actually more than a couple of times, but literally we'll start and within 10 minutes, oh, there's someone that has a warrant, and then we arrest them and then they're released. And then we walk for 10 more minutes. Oh, there's people using drugs in the open in public, and then we get arrests out of that. So it's just a constant thing. We're still doing everything we can, obviously, and it's not something that we're giving up on, of course. So it's just a constant stream of arrests. And unfortunately, that's just where we find ourselves with our bail reform that you guys are already well aware of. We don't have the ability to hold people as we did before, which is why we see a lot of our repeat customers. I know John just submitted something for the task force to our deputy chief. I know he was talking about, he disposes typically of about 5 to 10 needles per day, just personally. So I can imagine there's going to be a lot more out there, and I'm sure you guys are seeing that. We're still doing everything we can with our properties. It's kind of a constant game where we will go to one property, we'll get people off of that property under the Trespass Act. And then while we're doing that, there's people going to another property on the other side of downtown. So it's kind of like a little game almost, where we go one way, they go the other way. And then they know they have some time before we can make our way to them. So again, I can't stress it enough, calling in. 51 Nelson is still very active. And I know John is trying to work with the owner with some septed, with trying to have that porch closed off because it's very appealing. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware, we recently had an overdose death right on the porch there. So not good. We keep getting the trespass letters. I keep getting those in. I'm submitting them to our communications. So when the officers go there, they can check, and I keep updating our patrol officers that we do have these additional authorities, which do help us greatly. There's no games. We can just go onto the property. We have that authority. We can identify them. If there's an arrest to be made, we can make the arrest and get them off of there a lot quicker. So when we do have private property, there's kind of a gray area. So those do help immensely. And Annette, thank you for reaching out to all the businesses. I've been getting a steady stream of them in. So I think that's all I have. I know John has been working with bylaw on some initiatives. So he's been paired up with bylaw a few times. I've seen them downtown, checking out businesses, also working with the homeless issues through our city as well. So I think that's all I have for you guys right now, unless anyone has any questions to ask of me here.
Annette, go ahead.
I attended the security team meeting yesterday. The city security team has a meeting once a month or once every couple months. Everybody gives their updates similar to what we're doing here. And it seemed like the security team didn't know about BDOT. And then they started questioning whether the police knew about BDOT, and that's a resource that if it's not a ticket or something like that, that you guys could actually take these people over to the office on Market Street and let them talk about resources and things like that with the person. Are you aware of BDOT and the resources that they have?
Yes,
Okay.
that actually is put over through our officers as well. So it's invaluable having those resources. We've also got safe beds as well on Brand Ave. We have victim services, of course, but this is important to have all these community partnerships, because as you guys well know, we can't just go in and arrest everybody to get out of this mess. Like, we need the community involved, and we need these different resources to try to get help for the people that are in this situation, because not everyone wants to be in this situation, right? There is a small group that they don't want any help they just want to do what they want to do and they want to use their drugs and they don't care about anything else. But that's not the majority, I feel.
Okay. Any other questions of Sergeant Grantham? No? Oh, Dwight, go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask Sergeant Grantham there. Last week, there was a beat officer came by, which was nice to see. And we had a discussion with my neighbor, Sandra at Antec there. There's only one beat officer downtown right now.
Yes, right now we only have John Balone. Blake Vokey has been taken from us and he's on platoons because of our platoon strength. It's very, very low. We continue to fight for resources wherever we can. And like I said, the chief has been directing the platoons to assist. So we do have platoon members, especially in the mornings, where they will go down and they will go out on foot patrol and try to show some resources and the colors, so to speak, downtown.
Okay. Any further questions of Sergeant Grantham? No, thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate your being here.
Okay, thank you all.
And, okay, thank you. Jennifer, anything else to add, Jennifer?
Well, I just want to update on the summer. The programming in Harmony Square was phenomenal. Roller skating was such a huge hit. So that is definitely something that we are considering to continue on with yearly. We're doing it, as mentioned, for Scare in the Square. So if you didn't get a chance to go down there for roller skating, I went down. It was a little bit scary, but it was fun, and everybody had a blast. So we had no issues with registration. Security was on site for all events, and it really helped. We had no issues whatsoever. So music in the square was also a huge hit. So if you didn't get a chance to go down this summer, I just want you to know that it was really nice to be back and see everybody in the downtown. And then, as mentioned, all the events coming up in the next month. So I'm really looking forward to bringing people into the downtown, especially with the students. So we're working with Laurier as well to let the students know about the events that are coming up too.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Any questions of Jennifer about events? No? Okay, thanks so much. Beth Gurney, go ahead. And Beth, I just want to say it's so great to see those students on the street. We welcome them back with open arms.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. I was on campus all day yesterday and made a point to go for a couple of walks between meetings, and it was hard to not run up and just hug people. So it's great to see the activity downtown. If you read the expositor, you would have seen that Dr. McClatchy submitted an opinion piece on the weekend that just articulates her and the university's shared excitement about the return to more in-person activity. And also, clearly outlining our deep commitment to Brantford and the fact that the university is actively investing in the Brantford campus. So I know when the Milton announcement came out, some people assume it's got to be one or the other, but that's not the Laurier model. So the commitment is here and it's only deepening daily. Move-in was Monday on Labor Day, so about 300 students and their families came for a pretty smooth transition by appointment only because of health and safety to move into residence. And the studentship that I've mentioned before at this meeting, where the university has released some of its unrestricted funds to top up the one card balance of every incoming full-time first-year student at Brantford by $500. So that one card is accepted for groceries and dining at different establishments in downtown Brantford. And I would say even those businesses that are not on the one card program formally, everyone will benefit from students having an extra $500 of discretionary spending. So we're thrilled to have that program. And it was only offered to undergrad students, but we were able to secure a partnership with Enterprise Brant, who we have a long history with because they sponsored the initial business plan for Brantford to consider a university campus. And they have sponsored it so that it can be extended to graduate students at the Brantford campus too, which is wonderful because they do so much community-based research that has really direct impacts and benefits for Brantford. The Downtown Experience Coordinator, so I've mentioned this before, it's a 9-month pilot position for the campus. It's brand new and we want this person to help collaborate with people like Jennifer to say, hey, how do we make your events actually bigger and better and more engaged with Laurier people? And then also to work with different partners in the community to say, hey, if we're sharing some challenges, how do we work together to get those dealt with? That person starts officially on September 13th, but the successful candidate was Beth Sanders. So some people may know Beth. She does ceremonies and events and has been the lead person behind our successful convocation ceremonies in Brantford for years. So she's well connected, and I think she'll be fantastic in that role. You may have noticed that Laurier Brantford YMCA street pole banners and lights went up at the end of August. And I just want to give a special thanks to Annette, who I pestered repeatedly throughout that process, but always got good advice and helpful information. So thank you, Annette. And we're really thrilled to see that extra bit of street bling near the facility. The Brant County Health Unit, the mass clinics, I can't speak on their behalf, but to my understanding, the mass clinics at One Market are winding down a bit because the scale is not required anymore. They've hit some really great targets in terms of community immunization, but that access to vaccinations at One Market will continue. So any student, staff, or faculty who don't have a shot yet can book one. Notwithstanding those folks who have an approved reason under the Ontario Human Rights law, everyone is expected to show proof of double vaccination to come on campus. And those who cannot, for whatever reason, they will be provided twice weekly rapid tests so that they can, and also a daily self-assessment, because the last thing we want is to undo all the good work that's been done to help get us this far. And then the final thing that I'll share is that homecoming is virtual this year. There's a bit of hybrid potential for an in-person event, but part of homecoming will be on September 20th, an evening talk that will be virtual, so you can log in from your PJs at home, with Suvankam Temavangsa, who is the creative writing instructor from our Brantford campus, who also won the Scotiabank Giller Prize this past year. So we've been talking for quite a while about an event. We finally have one nailed down, so I'll be sure to be publicizing that information on social media and elsewhere for those who want to join. So I think that's most of my updates in a nutshell. I could probably go on forever, but if people do have specific questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Beth. Dwight, go ahead.
Beth, what is the total enrollment this semester of the students?
I will have to go back and find that, Dwight, but it's
Approximately.
I want to say I can look it up. I want to say it's around 2,700.
How's that compared to past years?
About it's pretty stable, actually.
So the COVID hasn't caused any issues?
No, we overall saw increases across all locations, so Brantford and Waterloo and Toronto. And so it's not a huge increase, but it is up a little bit. And then what's not in that number is also our LEAF program and the Laurier International College. So and the International College it's brand new. It's online courses first semester, but winter will be all in person.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Any further comments? No. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Beth. And I'll just comment on the bling. I noticed it the other day, and it looks great. Nice to see something shiny up there. All right. 7.4, Goggin. We welcome Goggin. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Barbara. I don't have too many updates. I'm just going to touch on a couple of things. So firstly, since the litter was mentioned, I just wanted to put it out there that we had purchased a bunch of those big trash compacting garbage bins, and I think all of them are actually out on the downtown streets now, which is great to see. And I don't know if anybody has actually seen them, but we have students' artwork being displayed on them right now, talking about how much the kids want people to not litter. So I think that's pretty positive messaging, and the hope is that, those bins were put in the hotspot litter areas as well, so that would help to reduce some of the litter that we're seeing on the downtown street. So all of those are out right now, and I'll touch base with our BIA ops staff to see if it's having the desired effect. I'm hoping it will. So I just wanted to put that out there firstly. And secondly, I don't have too many updates for the downtown streetscaping EA just yet. We're still in the planning phases for the next public information center. It's going to be the last one. So We're just developing our options. I know that the consultant is working with the utilities companies to figure out what all is needed underground. So once we have that information, we'll definitely call a meeting with all of our stakeholders, including the BIA, of course, to present that information of what exactly needs to be done. And before that, we're actually planning on doing some additional workshops. So if you'll recall, back last summer, we had a couple of virtual workshops with the BIA executive team, and we asked you all to help us build these cross sections that we could proceed with to our detailed design. So now that we're going into a more detailed analysis, we're going to be doing some of those again. And I've been working with Annette, letting her know that, you know, we're planning these sessions. I don't know if everybody's preference is in person or virtual. I think we can kind of go with either at this point, or a hybrid model. But it's going to be really important over September, maybe the beginning of October, to get those workshops done, just so we can get some additional feedback. I know, you know, the recommended solution that was presented, there were some concerns about that. So I just want to make sure we refine it as much as possible, and we're addressing everybody's issues before we move on to the next phase. So if anybody has feedback about timings, I know it's really difficult to get businesses to, you know, come out. They're busy running their business. So if anybody has some suggestions for how to get people to participate in those workshops and give us that feedback, I'm happy to do separate workshops with just the executive first, if that's preferable, and then we can do stuff with the businesses later. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. You can let me know. I'll continue to work with Annette to figure out dates and times and things for the workshops. But until then, I'm always open to any feedback you all have. And that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Gagan. All right, any questions of Gagan? Seeing none, we'll move on to Karen from Conestoga.
Good morning, everyone. It's a very busy week, as you can imagine, as the college opens up in all of our campuses. I am here sitting in my Brantford office at 274 Colburn Street, and it's myself and the security guard. We still continue offering all of our curriculum online with a transition plan by winter to have more face-to-face delivery in the downtown. Students are still enrolling. And we anticipate over 600 students, brand new students to the Brantford campus. But again, students are still enrolling, and a significant number of those are international students, and we've certainly been seeing them in the downtown. We also have another 500 returning students who are into the second year of their program. A significant number of our students are in the School of Business. And in those numbers that are designated Brantford, I need to be clear that also includes our activity at the Brantford Airport. We are offering more trades out there, more programming, and we're very, very excited around a newer program around agricultural businesses that is happening out there. We are working with our public health and with our president and our leadership team about vaccinations and requirements for all employees and students to ensure that everyone maintains the safe, excuse me, the safe practices. What is still happening is people wear masks. I've taken mine off for this meeting, and shields, and maintaining the 6 feet distance for anyone who is on campus. So we are still maintaining those practices. Sorry, I have nothing more to say at this point. I'm just trying to support my faculty and students as we grow and welcome everyone for fall 2021. Thank you.
That's great, Karen. Thank you. Any questions of Karen? Go ahead, Dwight.
Yes, Karen, thank you. The nursing program is probably quite good. Is that new, or that's something that started back up? What is it, a 2-year program, and does it provide certification for long-term residential homes, or is it
Yeah, so we have many programs in the field of nursing. We have PSW program, and we are running PSW here in Brantford at 274 Colborne Street. That is a 1-year certificate. We're doing it in compressed delivery and certainly PSWs. We also have registered practical nurse, which is the practical nursing program, which is a 2-year diploma. It is, we take approximately 140-ish students, don't quote me exactly, but it's oversubscribed by 12 or 1300 because it's a very popular program. We also have the degree nursing, which is a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, which is a 4-year. And we also have bridges. So people who are PSWs who want to become practical nurses, we have that bridging program, and we have a bridging program from the 2-year diploma to the degree. So we have the breadth of programming to try to meet our community needs, as well as I oversee all the specialty programs where I'm supporting our agencies in, for example, getting more operating room nurses, getting more critical care nurses that are needed to meet the needs of our community partners right now.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. And where would we be without our nurses these days, huh? Right. Thank you so much. Councillor Wall.
Awesome. Good morning. Okay, so I guess 3 small updates, and if you guys have any questions, just say the word. Sorry, I've got a social services meeting queued up on this computer over here, and I'm just getting ready. Okay, the fences came down to Victoria Park. Everybody probably saw. It was a memorial to children who had attended residential schools, and it was well attended. There was a whole report about it. I myself had to declare a conflict on that particular item, so I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but the fence is now down and Victoria Park is back to normal. The next update is the Downtown Task Force, which is meeting tomorrow, September 9th at 2:30 p.m., which will be available for the public if they would like to watch or attend. And then one thing that's on that agenda that I'm excited to tell you all about is that the Downtown Task Force will be getting a recommendation that a community engagement campaign be implemented starting September 13th and going until October 15th. So there's a full report available online if anybody wants a copy of it. I believe it was sent out to Downtown Task Force members, so Annette or Barbara, you could forward that to members. But basically the public engagement campaign is a big part because, you know, people are very opinionated about our downtown, and I am very eager and excited to hear the kind of ideas that people have on how we can improve downtown together. And then lastly, I don't necessarily know how much of an impact it's going to have on your life right now because it was referred to estimates last night at committees, but we started talking about red light cameras, which are very popular in other municipalities and is a contentious issue here in our community, depending on who you talk to. Ultimately, while the proposal was phenomenal, it is a ton of money. And it was referred to estimates to determine how we can make this fit into the city budget if we can. But an alarming fact came to my attention was how dangerous some of the intersections in downtown Brantford are. And while, you know, everyone is aware of the accidents that are happening, the most dangerous intersection, quote, end quote, dangerous intersection is right in our ward. And maybe Gagan can talk about it. But essentially, when I found out that statistic, which was alarming, I asked staff to report back before the council meeting on what safety measures we can start to implement today to hopefully, red light camera or not, make that intersection safer. So I wasn't sure if anybody had any comment on that. It's Colborne and Wellington, right? Gagan, or is it Dalhousie and Wellington?
It's Clarence and Dalhousie.
Sorry, I don't know why I thought Wellington. I meant Clarence.
Yeah.
Clarence and Dalhousie, you said? Yeah, so one of the gateways into our downtown. So yeah, that's about it for the council update, unless y'all have any questions.
Any questions? Go ahead, Dwight.
Councillor Wall, the Downtown Task Force, is that basically a fact-finding group, or is it a solution-based group to come forward with some results? And I see the biggest thing in the downtown is our safety and security is our biggest issue with everything that revolves around what we're trying to do in the downtown, whether it's our businesses, students, and the rest of it. So I just would like to know if it's a, going to be a solution-based organization that you and Councillor McCurry are heading up, so.
Forgive me, Dwight, I'm not entirely sure if I guess I understand your question. I'll elaborate to the best of my ability. So first and foremost, we have incredibly dedicated staff at the City of Brantford and our Social Services Department, Public Works, and all the various departments who are actively working every day. Like all day, every day. That's all they do, is try to make the downtown a better, safer place. But obviously there's cracks and there's people falling through the cracks, and there are societal issues that are just overwhelming, which was the whole point of the task force being created. So, I mean, I spoke at length at council about this. The idea of the whole task force was to identify all of the key stakeholders in the community, bring them all together, have everybody identify what each individual issue is, and then basically play matchmaker to best practices in other communities, and to use that data to compile a report to ask for support from outside organizations, nonprofit agencies, the federal government, the provincial government. So, I mean, I think to answer your question, honestly, it's both. The first step is to come up with practical solutions that we can implement immediately that are going to make a positive impact in the core based upon the feedback from the public and the partners, but also to compile a report of where we're lacking support. Like, we need mental health treatment desperately in this community. We need rehab desperately in this community. But those are not necessarily supports that the municipality can just provide on its own. We need somebody to step forward and run that rehab center, or we need the province to step up and give us more funding and support from mental health support. I mean, we need the hospital to stop handing out needles like it's, sorry, that's a contentious topic, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think I would be remiss if I didn't mention how hard staff are working every day. Like, this task force, even if it didn't exist, our staff would still be doing everything it could to make downtown a safe and better place. This task force is created to identify where the hurdles are, where the hiccups are, and to basically allow members of the public who are not on council, who don't work for the municipality, to be able to have a say in where we go. Sorry, I don't know if that helps, but I mean, it's both.
Councillor Wall, I don't disagree that the staff aren't working very, very hard, but I look at other communities, including Norfolk now, with outreach programs and actually putting a mobile outreach program out there. I see a lot of our problems as far as homelessness and drug abuse and everything as a health issue. It is a health issue. It all stems around that. And that's where we have to put our emphasis on to get to these people and change them around. I know my prior experience with St. Leonard's, there's some wonderful programs. We just need to maybe redirect some of our resources to something that is doable, and we can have some results with it. And that's all I'm saying. That's we've got policing isn't the total answer to all of our problems here with things. We need to get to the root of it, and it's a health issue. It's a health issue. So
I beg you, Dwight, to, you are very intelligent, you are very articulate when you speak, and you've been in this downtown as long as anybody. I hope that, when you have the opportunity through Barbara, or even with Barbara, to attend this meeting and make sure that those who need to hear what you have to say, hear it. I mean, because I promise you, I will be advocating for more support for mental health and for the health issues and many other things, but many voices are what's going to carry that. The whole, when I originally worked with you guys to create this task force, it was to create a venue for those voices to be heard beyond the traditional methods. So thank you, because your input is very valuable.
Okay, any other questions of Councillor Wall? All right, seeing none.
Barbara?
Yes.
I don't want to interrupt your quorum. I have to go to a social services meeting in 6 minutes. So if
Okay.
I'm here, that's where I'm going.
All right. And it will interrupt my quorum, so we'll move along really, really quickly in the next 5 minutes. Meg, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Barbara. Good morning, everyone. This will be short. Biggest news, we are moving to the new City Hall today. So the BRC will be open to the public starting next week. We'll start in-person meetings again, which will be wonderful. We will also continue Zoom meetings because that consultations through Zoom has worked really well. We are also going to continue our workshops webinar format till 2022. And I just want to echo what everybody else has said. I was downtown yesterday. It's fabulous to see the students downtown. It's like you turn a corner. The energy there is so welcoming to all of us, I'm sure. The other thing I want to talk about is our Digital Main Street program, which I mentioned last time. So the BRC received a grant for $15,000 and went for a digital service squad. That person is working on the streets will in the next couple of days, hitting businesses. We're going to run this along because they have also relaunched the digital transformation grant of $2,500 to businesses with brick and mortar locations to improve their digital technologies. And this person is going to be working with businesses to help them fill out the application, as well as just helping them improve whatever they need. And they will run a digital assessment for whatever business they work with. So if you have any businesses that you can see need this help, please direct them to the BRC. Okay, they have to be 1 to 50 employees and brick and mortar and commercial, not industrial. Okay, so we would be happy. And if they don't need that and need something else, please just direct them to us and they can come down to City Hall and see us, which we're excited. We'll be excited to see them. And that is all I have to report for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Meg. And welcome to downtown. Well, you were already downtown, but welcome to City Hall. Okay. All right. Are there any committee updates quickly? No, I'm sorry I'm rushing this along, but in sight of losing quorum, and I don't see Councillor Wall there now. Go ahead, Dwight.
I was going to ask May, the Digital Main Street program there is you're having as good a results as you'd expected, or I know you got more funding for that. So
last round, which lasted just I think 3 months, we helped over 67 businesses with their digital technologies. So we were really pleased with that. And we are happy that that transformation grant has opened up to businesses beyond the downtown as well. So those ones that were sitting on the fringes of downtown will be able to help now. So very, very happy with that. Yeah, yes, it'll be good. It's an exciting to be. This is the first time also we'd be able to help businesses in person. Before it was all virtual. And so we're expecting even better results this time.
thank you, May.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. All right. I'm just going to go ahead to a motion to adjourn because we are going to lose quorum. And however, I don't see Councillor Wall. Is that your motion, Dwight?
Will you lose quorum?
We'll lose quorum if
Because you have Carrie now, don't you?
Oh, my mistake. Hold on. You're right, Jennifer. I'm sorry. I'm still working on. Oh, and there we are. Okay. Sorry, my mistake. And thank you, Jennifer. So, any other committee updates? No. Okay. So saying now we are at the at adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn? And Karen, and seconded. Councillor Wall, and all in favor? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week, great month, and we'll be into fall next time. Okay. Take care.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.